Director. Many other gifted speakers shall be there. Before we run out of space and time, make your deposits of only 180 kwacha registration fee and then register yourself online on the link below.
Yes, you can direct her to where Kalumba is. Then you can. We're about to start.
Don't miss this unique opportunity. The big one is coming. Yes, it's the Senior Youth Congress for the Southern Zambia Union Conference from December 18th to the 24th, 2022. Petauke Boarding High School in East Zambia Field is the destination. All ambassadors, young adults and those invested as senior youth leaders are welcome. This is the best way to close this year of the Lord 2022. The theme for the Congress says, One in Christ, with our guest speaker, Dr. Watson Biriri, the Zimbabwe East Union Youth Director. Many other gifted speakers shall be there. Before we run out of space and time, make your deposits of only 180 kwacha registration fee and then register yourself online on the link below.
Hello, good evening and welcome to yet another interesting edition of our countdown to Southern Zambia Union Conference Senior Youth Congress, which is taking place in Petauke of East Zambia Field. That is from the 18th to 24th December 2022 under the theme One in Christ. Now, we've been running this program for the past 4 to 5 weeks now, and we are counting down to the Congress, which is going to be in Eastern Province. Now, the charges or the registration fee is only 180 kwacha only if you register between now and the 31st of October 2022. And if you register after that, we're saying you will be required to pay 200 kwacha. That's if you register after the 31st of October. That's between 31st of October to 31st of November 2022. And everyone, West Zambia Field, East Zambia Field, Ulan's Conference, Lusaka Conference, South Zambia Conference, which is the Grandmother Conference, is going to be there in East Zambia Field, where we're going to be ending the year in a style. This is the best way to end this year 2022, and we're inviting you, be among those that are going to come, those that are going to join us as we conclude the year in a style, finishing strong. One in Christ is the theme. Now, we've been giving you updates pertaining to the program on how the programming are going. The first time I came, I was alone and I was giving you the updates and giving you the names of the presenters that are going to be with us when we get to Petauke. Then the next session, I had a representative coming from Ulan's Conference, where we were told some of the plans that Ulan's Conference has to ensure that they meet the target of 300 campers, taking them to that camp. Then the next edition that followed, I had the publicist chair giving us some updates on what we have done, what we have achieved. And I also had the youth director, Southern Zambia Union Conference youth director, trying to give us some lessons, some updates on the lessons that are going to be there. Then we also had Lusaka Conference coming through to give us the updates on how many people they are intending to take there. And then last week we had South Zambia Conference. So we had South Zambia Conference giving us the updates on how they plan to take the campus from their conference to that camp. And today, we have another special guest in the studio. With me, I have a representative from West Zambia Field. And I'll also be joined by one of the committee members, who is the committee secretary for music and planning. Now, this is a subcommittee. It's one of the committees that is ensuring that the programming and everything that we are talking about that we're going to find there is in place. So I'm going to have time to chat with the secretary for that committee. But to begin with, I'm going to be chatting with a representative from West Zambia Field. Please welcome the representative from West Zambia Field, no other than MG Lishomwa Silume. MG, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for hosting me here.
Okay, how is West Zambia field?
West Zambia field is equally fine, just like any other, conference in Zambia. We are doing fine.
Okay, so when we talk about West Zambia field, what are we talking about? Like how big is, where does it start from and where does it end?
Well, when we are talking about West Zambia field, one should first of all, imagine the geographical location of Western Province. We cannot talk about West Zambia field and compare it to just like any other, province like Lusaka province where you have, a number of conferences within one province here. So when we typically talk about West Zambia field, we are actually talking about Western Province at large and all the districts surrounding our Western Province.
Okay, so like politically you have about, can I still remember how many districts are in Western Province? I've forgotten the geography that I was doing. Now, when it comes to the church boundaries, how many districts are we talking about?
Particularly West Zambia field, we are talking about more than 10 districts to be exact, yeah. If one could be wrong about more than 10 districts within Western Province, being manned by one mother church board, West Zambia field.
Okay. Now, we've been discussing the Senior Youth Congress, and you should be the third, the third field amongst the 5 fields and conferences that we have. Now, I have some questions for you, comrade. When we say Senior Youth Congress, what does it mean to you, especially you people coming from West Zambia field?
Well, to us, it's just a continuation. If you remember very well, in 2017, we once hosted the Youth Congress also as West Zambia field. So to us, it's an opportunity to meet other fellow young people and to share a number of culture beyond religion and, beyond Seventh-day Adventism in Zambia.
Okay. So, yeah, you've actually done well to remind me of the camp that West Zambia field, were actually hosting. That should be in 2017 in Kalavo.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and we saw a good number of you guys coming. Do we still expect a good number of you guys coming to this now that we're going to the opposite direction?
Okay, actually, when you critically examine West Zambia field, West Zambia field has actually a larger membership that is so encouraging. So as you saw it in Kalabo, maybe the only limitation factor could be, transport and logistics and other things. Otherwise, the enthusiasm about youth ministries is alive and well since 2017. Is still there beyond, the tragic COVID-19 that, couldn't spare all churches, yes.
Okay, so the union has given a target of 300 delegates to each field as well as conferences. So the other week we had audience conference who had given us some of the measures that they've put in place, where they were saying they have actually put up a promotion. So they are saying they put up a promotion for the first 120, they are paying about 865 kwacha.
Yes.
And then the others are paying about 1,155. That's if my memory serves me right. Then we had Lusaka conference also coming through telling us what they've put in place, where they're encouraging each church and each district to at least sponsor one individual is going to actually come. And they told us the youth director had actually paid for some people. Then we had, last week we had South Zambia conference telling us some of the strategies that they've put in place, where they're saying for them transportation is going to be done by their regions. Now, what are some of the measures, what are some of the strategies that you've put in place, you as West Zambia field, to ensure that you actually meet the target, which is the minimum of 300 delegates that we expect you to bring to East Zambia field? What are some of the measures?
Okay, thank you very much for that, multi-million question. West Zambia field, just like I said, is a province that is a field, but it has a lot of membership. So what the leaders have done at the field level is to actually decentralize the preparations they themselves, because distance is one factor that really actually somewhat is a challenging factor in West Zambia field.
Yeah.
So what we have done is at least each particular district has been given a privilege to organize herself and transport her members all the way. So that is an encouraging factor. People, much as we may confine them to the field, people would still want to exercise that inner sense of belonging. So we have decentralized the operations just to encourage members to simply travel all the way. I'll just give an example of Mongu Central Mission District. Mongu Central Mission District has actually put the registration fee at 1,600 to and from, including transport and logistics. That is just a sample out of all the districts that
you said 1,000?
1,600.
1,600.
Covered all transport and logistics.
And logistics and food. Wow.
Yes, that's just one example. So the main limitation factor around West Zambia Field is distance. We cannot confine people to uniform preparations.
To paying the same amount.
The same amount, yes.
I understand there's some districts like Kalabo, which are far from here. Then we have some districts like, I should think Mongu is a bit closer to, is it far? I've never been to Western Province, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, but I see it on the map, so at least I know there's Mongu, there's Kalabo, there's the. Those are the only districts I can mention from there. Right, so I understand. Right. So basically, what West Zambia Field is trying to do is the same thing that other conferences have done. It's different from us, which is different from these other conferences where they have the districts within one central district. So it's very easy for them to accommodate. So if you're coming from West Zambia Field, the information is that you need to get in touch with your local district to find out how much your district is paying towards transportation as well as food. Because lodging and other logistics is going to be within the 120 kwacha. But what's important for now is that you need to pay the 180 kwacha rather, so that you can find yourself to be among those that have registered. Now, I've observed most of you are just paying and they are not registering. So for us to have the statistics, what you need to do is that when you give that money to your treasurer, make sure that they give you the receipt so that you can attach it to the registration form and then you send that registration form to us. If you do not have that corporate registration form, you can still register yourself online following the link that is coming. There's a link that we've been showing every after the advert. Okay, so at the end of the advert, there's a link that we've provided. So make sure that you follow that link to register for yourself, and we'll actually ask you to attach the receipt, that is the registration receipt, the 180 kwacha. I don't know why 20 today is in my mouth or is in my tongue. Okay, so it's 180 kwacha registration. Now, comrade, before I let you go, maybe just few things. People that are coming from West Zambia Field, what are some of the things that they should look forward to? Are there any incentives? Like, for example, we read one of the conferences was saying, as they go to East Zambia Field for the Congress, they are planning to actually pass through Chinyunyu Hot Springs so that their people or their delegates could actually have time to appreciate nature as local tourists. What are some of the incentives have you put as West Zambia Field? Is there anything that people will be looking forward to, or what's the plan?
Okay, of course, the youth executive has instituted the leadership to simply look into that, because going to a new place and trying to critically analyze East Zambia Field, we cannot run away from tourism. So we want to see what East Zambia Field is also able to offer beyond just hosting us in terms of tourism. So there is that package that has been set aside by the executive. They are running up and down to simply make sure that at least a youth from East Zambia Field, West Zambia Field, the sense in which they could do, enjoy visiting around East Zambia Field and visiting places that they have never seen.
Wow.
Yes.
So now, this is going to be some sort of a personal question. I know you're going to the camp.
Yes, yes.
What's one thing that motivated you to actually register? What is it that motivated you to actually register? We might not know. We might find someone out there from West Zambia Field who's also thinking if they should register or not. What is it that motivated you to register for this camp?
Okay, one thing that has really motivated me to register, to tell you the truth, that spirit of youth ministry is still alive and well in me. So after all these restrictions that were put there because of the tragic COVID-19, it's been long, it's been ages since I attended a national youth camp, so I just can't afford to miss this one. I'm looking forward to interact with a number of youths from within Zambia and other, conferences, just to have that exchange of culture, among other things, beyond, the fellowship together at the camp.
Well, that was Comrade Lishomwa Silume, coming all the way from West Zambia field, trying to give us some of the insights, some of the strategies that West Zambia field has put in place to see to it that they get to meet the target of 300 campers to take to the Southern Zambia Union Youth Congress, Senior Youth Congress, which is going to take place in East Zambia field, Petauke district, specifically, or to be specific, Petauke boarding school from the 18th to 24th of December 2022. If you're coming from West Zambia field, you've heard for yourself. Get in touch with your local district leaders to ensure that you get the full information on how much you need to pay for this camp. West Zambia field, we want to see you in East Zambia field. The same way we came, the same way East Zambia field came all the way to Kalabo in 2017. That's how we want to see you. We want to see you in numbers. We love you, West Zambia field. We want to see you in numbers. We want you to come and show us that you are proud of yourself. We're proud of you. Comrade, maybe just the last appeal to those that are watching us live. What is your last comment, especially those that are coming from West Zambia field? What is your last comment to them, even before I could let you go?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm just appealing and urging my fellow young people from West Zambia field that let not the geographical boundaries, separate us, and let not the geographical boundaries, and you must be aware of the poverty line for Western Province. That poverty line has not really spared the churches, but the sense in which the spirit of youth ministries is alive and well in West Zambia field. Name all, throughout history, you name all the youth camps that have been held on the national level, we have had a good participation. Therefore, even this time around, we will produce good numbers. And the 300 that we've been given by the union, we can beat that number statistically. We are doing very fine. So there's a way in which a West Zambia field youth maneuvers around. There's a way in which they behave. So I guarantee you they are coming all the way, and you prepare for them. And they are coming all the way. You prepare for them, and they'll be there. They always find a way to be there to represent Western Province, and will come in numbers.
Thank you very much for your time, comrade.
Thank you very much.
That was West Zambia field. By the way, the union has put an incentive. So whichever conference or union or field will reach the target, there is a prize for you. So West Zambia field, please fight that you get the target, you meet the target of 300. In fact, if you want to do more, please do more than that 300, because Petauke Boarding High School is able to accommodate us. Even if we're going to be 1,500, it will accommodate us. 1,600, 1,700, 2,000, it will still be able to accommodate us. Find your way in December. That is December 2022, from the 18th to 24th. Petauke is the place where it's supposed to be. Right about now, we'll be going on a break. But if you have just joined us, this is Countdown to Southern Zambia Union Congress, Senior Youth Congress, with the theme One in Christ, which is going to be taking place in Petauke district of East Zambia field, with our guest speaker, Pastor Watson Biriri from East Zimbabwe Conference. And we are going to have other local speakers that are going to be there. Remember, we are live on Op Channel Zambia Facebook page, Op Channel Zambia YouTube channel, as well as Southern Zambia Union Conference Facebook page, Woodlands Conference, Lusaka Conference, West Zambia Field, East Zambia Field, and South Zambia Conference Adventist Youth Ministries pages. When we come back on the other side, I'll be talking to one of the committee members just to give us the update of what the committee has planned for us in terms of planning, as in terms of music. Please don't stay away. I'll be right back.
Don't miss this unique opportunity. The big one is coming. Yes, it's the Senior Youth Congress for the Southern Zambia Union Conference from December 18th to the 24th, 2022. Petauke Boarding High School in East Zambia Field is the destination. All ambassadors, young adults, and those invested as senior youth leaders are welcome. This is the best way to close this year of the Lord 2022. The theme for the Congress says, One in Christ, with our guest speaker, Dr. Watson Biriri, the Zimbabwe East Union Youth Director. Many other gifted speakers shall be there. Before we run out of space and time, make your deposits of only 180 kwacha registration fee and then register yourself online on the link below. Don't miss this unique opportunity. The big one is coming. Yes, it's the Senior Youth Congress for the Southern Zambia Union Conference from December 18th to the 24th, 2022. Petauke Boarding High School in East Zambia Field is the destination. All ambassadors, young adults and those invested as senior youth leaders are welcome. This is the best way to close this year of the Lord 2022. The theme for the Congress says, One in Christ, with our guest speaker, Dr. Watson Biriri, the Zimbabwe East Union Youth Director. Many other gifted speakers shall be there. Before we run out of space and time, make your deposits of only 180 kwacha registration fee and then register yourself online on the link below.
Welcome back. This is Countdown to Southern Zambia Union Conference Senior Youth Congress, which is going to be happening in Petauke of East Zambia Field. The dates are 18th to 24th of December 2022, and the registration fee is 180 kwacha if you register between now and the 31st of October. And if you register after the 31st of October, you'll be required to pay 200 kwacha. Now, this camp is a special one because it's a camp for the senior youths, that is the ambassador and the young adults, and the 30 plus. Last time when I had my director here, he emphasized the need for the elders, the need for the church leaders to come and camp with us, because some of the lessons that we're going to be having there are those that will cater for their needs. And before we went on the break, we were discussing with a representative from West Zambia Field who are trying to give us some of the updates on how they plan on transporting or taking or meeting the target of 300 campers from their field to East Zambia Field, where we're going to be having this Congress. And they have mentioned, he actually did a good job. He discussed most of the things that West Zambia Field has put in place. And some of the things that I picked was that West Zambia Field has decentralized this camp planning, and they've given the powers to the districts to be the one to spearhead the programming because of their geographical location. Yeah, we all understand that West Zambia Field, when we talk of West Zambia Field, then we are talking of Western Province of Zambia. And I should think they're the ones that are coming from the furthest part of our conference, if we are to compare to where we are going and comparing them to the other fields as well as conferences. So they have decided to decentralize the programming to the district. So if you're coming from West Zambia Field and you want to get more information, please feel free to contact the communication chairperson for West Zambia Field, and you'll be able to be directed with the right information. And he also gave an example of one of the districts, that is, I should think that should be Mong Central Mission District, where the campers are going to be paying only 1,600 kwacha. That is inclusive of the registration fee, food, and transportation. So if you're coming from Mong Central, please, you need to know that the only thing that you're paying is 1,600, and you will find your way in East Zambia Field, Petauke District, from the 18th to 24th of December 2022, the year of the Lord. Now, I am joined by the chairperson, the committee chairperson for planning and music. Now, what we have done at the union level is that we have subcommittees that are spearheading the programming and the running of this Congress. So we have the publicity, where I come from, and the other time I was hosting my chairperson, and there's also construction, we have transport, we have courtesy, we have programming, and many other subcommittees that are making sure that we meet the target of going to East Zambia Field. And I'm now joined by comrade or sister Mutinta Mieka, who is the chairperson for programming and music committee. Madam, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Isaac.
Well, I should think you're one of the most happening committee, and the smooth running of this camp depends on your programming. So I'm just going to have a few of what is your committee looking at? What's your mandate? What are some of the things that you're actually looking at when you talk of programming and music?
All right, thank you so much, Brother Isaac. So the Programming and Music Committee comprises of people from all the 5 entities. We have Brother Trevor from Lusaka Conference, Brother Mkela from West Field, we have Brother Agrippa from East Zambia Field, and we have Brother Mianda from South. And our committee is supposed to look at how the program will be run when we get into camp. And there are a lot of things that we are looking at. For example, we are planning on how the lessons will be done. We need to plan if there are going to be plenary sessions, if there will be a class breakout discussions. So there's a lot. We have to see which singing groups we are going to have in camp. Just the whole smooth running of the camp is entirely dependent on us.
Wow.
Yeah.
I see that. When I said you're one of the most happening committee.
We're not happening. It's quite tough.
Okay. So since we're the ones that are looking at the programming and everything, what would you mind just giving us maybe some of the lessons that you have planned to be to be conducted or to be given to the campus during this camp, and some of the presenters that have confirmed so far being with us in the camp?
Okay, yeah, I can do that. So we have a lot of interesting topics that we are going to have during our camp. And I'll just mention a few. We are going to have church governance and leadership, social media, financial management, youth and marriage. We're also going to have revitalizing the Ambassador Club ministry. We're also going to have the SYL leadership. And then we're going to have entrepreneurship. We're going to have culture and fashion. Those are just some of the topics that we are going to have at the camp. And some of the speakers that we are going to have during that camp are, as you have already mentioned, the main speaker is Dr. Watson Biri. He'll be taking us through most of the services. And we hope he can take us through some of the topics that we are going to have during the camp. The other speakers, we have Pastor Chimatosi, who's going to be taking us in the morning devotions. We also have Pastor Evans Manjimela, who will be one of the speakers there. We also have Dr. Daniel Chunga. We have Dr. Vani Munyumbwe. We have MG Dani Kavani. We're also going to have organizations like ZICTA, who are going to give us talks during the period of our camp.
So what are so those are the programming that are going to be there. So if you are planning to miss, I think it's high time you started reconsidering your ways, like putting your house in order so that you ensure that you find your way to East Zambia Field. I've been following most of these speakers that we've talked about. These are not experimental speakers. I'll say it again, and this time slow. The speakers that she has mentioned, these are not experimental speakers. We're not experimenting. We've passed the level of experimenting, trying to see if it can work or if it can't work, and then we say, yeah, it worked. We are dealing with people that have been doing this for quite some time. So we are going to have some of the lessons that she has mentioned, that those are some of the lessons that we as the youths, especially us that are living in the 21st century, need to acquaint ourselves with. Well, what a better way, what a powerful way of ending the year of the Lord 2022. Now, Sister Mutinda, one of the key issues when it comes to such programmings is music. What's the plan from the committee? How do you plan to handle the music part?
Okay, so for the music part, seeing that we are going to be having a lot of interesting lessons that will really help us learn one or two things, we have asked the 5 entities to give us singing groups each. So we've asked them to give us the most powerful singing groups that they have in their entities. And East Zambia Field being the host, we've asked them to give us a good number of singing groups. Yes, and I can assure you we are going to have a very good time there when it comes to praise and worship. We really enjoy ourselves. And the other thing is we also have a theme song which we are going to be sharing with all the entities by next week so that we can all learn the theme song. We have given our theme to a composer to compose a song for us. And once we approve it as a committee and the youth directors from all the entities, we're going to ask them to also translate it to us in different languages so that we are free to sing that song during our camp in any language that you're comfortable with.
Well,
yeah.
You being the programming rather, are there any incentives or accessories that we will expect during the camp, especially us who are registering? Anything?
Yeah, definitely. All the delegates are going to have, of course, the IDs. And we've actually just finished doing a layout of the program. We are just waiting. We're just doing some final touches here and there, which we are now going to distribute to all the entities. Yes, to start to acquaint themselves with what exactly we are going to be doing when we get into camp. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Now, if you're just asking yourself why we need the theme song to be translated in different languages, one thing that you need to know is that Southern Zambia Union Conference is a representation of Zambia. We have all the languages in Zambia right here in Southern Zambia Union Conference. We have Chewa, we have Tonga, Silozi, Bemba, name it. All the languages are found right here in Southern Zambia Union Conference because of how our Union Conference is actually distributed or it's allocated. No wonder we're saying we will distribute or we are going to translate the theme song in all the local languages so that everyone who's going to be there will be able to sing in their own language and to feel to be part of the camp. Remember, the registration fee is 180 kwacha. And if you pay after the 31st of December or November rather, you're going to be required to pay 200 kwacha. Do you want to miss this camp? Were you planning to miss this camp? I'm sure by now you should have started thinking of why you should not miss this camp. The last time we met, we said it was in 2017. That was in Kalabo, West Zambia Field. And this time, we are meeting in East Zambia Field. We do not know the next time we are going to meet. We do not know when the Lord is coming. We might be thinking of meeting next after this camp and then the Lord comes. Or something happens to you. So, before the Lord comes and before something happens to you, find your way to East Zambia Field where all the youth in Southern Zambia Union Conference will be gathered to finish the year of the Lord 2022 in the most powerful way. Now, I've been talking to the chairperson for programming and music. Now, before I let her go and before we conclude with the show, let me just allow her to give us the last comments from our committee.
Okay, so I just two things to mention as well. We are going to certify each and every person who's going to be in camp. And the other thing to note, all the 5 entities are going to be given a day to give us highlights of their conference or their field. So let's prepare something that will be nice to showcase what is happening in your entities. Yeah. So as the programming and music, we look forward to seeing you in Petauke. Definitely you're going to see the whole committee there, and we just hope we'll cooperate and enjoy ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Sister Mutinta Mieka, the chairperson for Programming and Music Committee, a subcommittee that is planning for the forthcoming Senior Youth Congress for Southern Zambia Union Conference. Remember, one in Christ. The dates, 18th to 24th December 2022. Venue, Petauke Boarding High School in East Zambia Field. And the guest speaker will be Pastor or Dr. Watson Biriri, all the way from East Zimbabwe Conference. And then we are going to have Pastor Toshi taking us in the morning devotions, as well as Pastor Manjumela. Then other speakers that are going to be there, like she had said, we're going to have our own President, Dr. Van Munyumbwe, who's going to take us in church governance. Then we're going to have Dr. Daniel Chunga, my conference president, who is also going to take us in one of the lessons. I should think it should be family life. I should think it's family life. Yes, family life. And then we're going to have Comrade Daniel Cavani. I should think it's going to take us in entrepreneurship. And then we're going to have officials from ZICTA to deal with social media. Wow. Are you sure you're still planning to miss? Are you still planning to miss? This camp is for everyone, the 30 minus and the 30 plus. Let's meet in Petauke of East Zambia Field. This is where we've come to the end of today's show, and please make a date to join me next week as we are going to be discussing another important, I'm going to be discussing with yet another field. Next week, I'm likely to have the hosting field, that is East Zambia Field, coming to the studio to just tell us how ready they are to actually host this program. This event which they are going to be hosting for the very first time from the creation of the earth. This has been your presenter, Isaac Chikwembe. Thank you very much. God bless you, and continue watching Hope Channel Zambia, television that changes lives. See you in Petauke. God bless you. Remember, we are remaining with only 9 weeks before we go to Petauke. Register now so that we can meet in Petauke of East Zambia Field. God bless you, and see you next week, same time, same place.
The big one is coming. Yes, it's the Senior Youth Congress for the Southern Zambia Union Conference from December 18th to the 24th, 2022. Petauke Boarding High School in East Zambia Field is the destination. All ambassadors, young adults, and those invested as senior youth leaders are welcome. This is the best way to close this year of the Lord 2022. The theme for the Congress says, One in Christ, with our guest speaker, Dr.